Morning.
As they said back in my day, "What's up?" I guess I'm about 20 years late to that party.
Probably. If not more.
I remember Ben doing it, so
Okay.
not too much more than 20, because I haven't known him more than 24.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
Bless you.
Excuse me. Thank you. I am not the captain of my own destiny, nor even of this new day. And so I renounce anew all claim to my own life and desires. I am only yours, O Lord. Lead me by your mercies through these hours, that I might spend them well, not in harried pursuit of my own agendas, but rather in good service to you. Teach me to shepherd the small duties of this day with great love, tending faithfully those tasks you place within my care, and tending with patience and kindness the needs and hearts of those people you place within my reach. Nothing is too hard for you, Lord Christ. I deposit now all confidence in you that whatever these waking hours bring, my foundations will not be shaken. At day's end, I will lay me down again to sleep, knowing that my best hope is well kept in you. In all things, your grace will sustain me. Bid me follow, and I will follow. Amen.
Amen.
All right, take it away.
Music. We like music. We like songs.
We like music. Yes, we do.
We like music. How about you?
Oh.
Sorry. But one of the things that, and at times it's been a little bit of a pet peeve of ours, but it's also something that we have thought about and wrestled with for a while. One of the habits in a lot of the churches that we grew up in and have served in is to, well, the Baptist joke is first, second, last
Yes.
Verses of your hymns.
I feel left out like the third verse of a hymn.
Yeah, there are a lot of jokes about the third, and if there are more than four verses, the third and fourth verses of a hymn. And we leave those verses out because we need to shorten the hymn. You know, we've got to watch our time and that kind of thing. But we really need to be careful with that. And there are some third verses that we look at and go, oh yeah, that can be left out. We don't need that. But there are some songs where all of the verses are really essential for understanding the fullness of the song. And a non-Christmas example would be A Mighty Fortress.
Yes.
We skip that around, and it makes absolutely no sense if we leave out verses of that. But there are several Christmas songs that actually accomplish that as well.
Where is Joy to the World?
I thought you passed it.
I don't know.
I
There's How Great Art.
saw it. I thought you just looked
there's
past
an
it, so I
index.
assumed you didn't.
I
weren't
didn't
looking
see
for
it.
that.
That's what I was looking for. I just missed it.
But I
entirely.
didn't pay attention to the.
181, so it's farther back than that.
So
I got distracted by the extra notes with First Noel. So Joy to the World is one of them.
yes,
And it's one that sometimes we leave off a verse, and I've heard people leave off the third verse of this one because they hit the chorus and they're like, we don't get that, so we're just gonna skip the whole verse because we don't get it.
and the chorus talks about a curse.
Yeah, and it talks about, but when you read, no more let sins and sorrows grow, nor thorns infest the ground. He comes to make his blessings flow, far as the curse is found. And the thing about that is that maybe you need to stop and revisit your theology. What curse are we talking about? Are we talking about, are we talking about the mummy's curse? Oh, the mummy, the curse.
Well, first of all, you've got to stop that and read through the whole verse to see
Yes.
no more at the beginning.
Yes.
I think that's the first thing, is that we let little words like curse jump out at us without actually processing the whole of the verse. And so then we're like, wait, curse? What? That's witchcraft. That's
But the curse this is talking about, that Watts is writing about in Joy to the World, this is the curse that you see in Genesis. The curse that is the effect of sin. And so the whole verse is, no more let sins and sorrows grow. Why? And it's why, because the Lord has come, and each verse builds on the other. So don't skip that third verse. No more let sins and sorrows grow, nor thorns infest the ground. You know, thorns in the ground. That's very clearly Genesis 3.
Genesis, yeah.
He comes to make his blessings flow, far as the curse is found. And the idea is that that's everywhere, because all the way we go, the ground is cursed. All the way we go, there are thorns, there are sins and sorrows. But instead, you've got, it then flows into, he rules the world with truth and grace. And so you don't want to miss that. You don't want to leave out. That's a good, Christmas is not, when you're singing Christmas songs, when we're celebrating the coming of Jesus, realize that the coming of Jesus is not, God didn't put on flesh and dwell among us to take a good world and make it better. He came, why do we have joy to the world? Because the Lord has come. And why joy to the earth as the Savior reigns? Why? Because of the curse. Don't leave out the negative. Especially when the negative is placed as, hey, this is the curse is done. So let's remember that and remind ourselves of that.
We want to make Christmas light and happy and joyful, and I understand that, wanting to, especially knowing that there are some traditions that the Advent season is very heavy.
Yes.
And then you get to Christmas and you want the Christmas music. You want to lift yourself up from the mournfulness of O come, Emmanuel, by singing joy to the world, the Lord has come.
Yep.
And so, we only want the joyful, but yeah, like you said, if we don't see why, if we don't see the effects that we're being saved from, that the reason that we should have joy, then we kind of miss the point. And I think even in the celebration, we need to see what we're celebrating.
Yes.
So.
Yeah, that's so yeah. Grab those and take a And by the way, everybody ought to own a hymnal. If you're a Christian, go buy you a hymnal. Get on Lifeway, buy you the worship hymnal, so that you can see all these. Because sometimes we get this songbook, this is our Christmas caroling songbook, and it has, the first and second verse. Or, for example, wherever O Holy Night was, this actually has all 3 verses of O Holy Night. Now, there are some songs you can leave off a verse, and you don't really lose anything. But I think we should also ask ourselves why we're leaving off verses when we do. If you are Christmas caroling and everybody's working from memory, that's a legit time to leave off verses. And just sing the first verse of stuff that everybody knows really well. That's legitimate. But if you're in church with the words in front of you, why? Why be so against singing together? And we fall into this in churches that are hurried and hushed and sometimes very traditional. We just need to move on with this so that we can keep everything on schedule. And we also fall into it in high production value churches where, so the people can't sing along with us, and we're going to move from this to this to this, and they're going to sing a little bit, but really we want the professional singers to do it, or the really good, the highly trained, the highly skilled. And break that habit. Let Christmas be when you break that habit in your church. Take that whole high production plan that you've got for your church, whether it's a church of 50 with a high production plan or a church of 50,000 with a high production. 25,000 is the biggest church I know anybody at. But take the high production plan, go shred it, and go sing Christmas carols and sing it all. Preacher, either shorten it up or make sure it's worth listening to 35 minutes of you. Make sure if your sermon's 45 minutes, it's worth listening to because it's well done, not because it's a sermon and therefore it's worth listening to.
And consider the other things that are in your service that are squeezing the time in the Word and the time of worship together through song. If you've got 7 minutes of announcements, and so that means you have to cut out a verse of every single song, then figure out another way to do announcements. If you
find ways to distribute the Christmas promotional videos instead of Christmas offering promotional videos. Find ways to distribute those. Find ways to distribute stuff for people to consume separately. Anyway, another song that you really need all the verses on is the musical setting of Henry Wadsworth Longfellow's poem, Christmas Bells, which becomes the song, I Heard the Bells on Christmas Day, which you need the whole story, and then it's really helpful to have the backstory on that one as well, and we'll talk about the backstory on that, maybe flesh out the whole thing.
That sounds good.
Later,
yeah. Maybe next week.
Because one of the military historians I tracked with on Twitter was actually talking about what was going on in the Civil War and going into this.
Okay.
So that was fresh on my mind, and so I'll pull that I'll pull that list and kind of have some additional history stuff
more
on it.
Than just Longfellow's
Not just about the music, but about what was going on in America. So anyway, all right, you good with that?
Yep.
Okay. Well, we're gonna wrap this here party up because we gotta go work.
If I can get that out without lumping the wrong thing there. Sometimes I still forget that moving this is not going to move everything.
Yes, well, I mean, we finally got used to the fact that the Atari joystick and the Nintendo controller didn't move the things, and then we got a Wii and it does move the things when we move it. So now we're back to that.
Yes. Yeah. I don't know that I ever got used to that concept that if I, the Nintendo, if I yanked it like this, it didn't make any difference. So I think
jump, Mario. He doesn't jump any higher when you do that. Circus Atari.
Let's see. See if any of those are maybe quicker than I do. Let's see. Just jump onto this.
Jump on down to Psalm 19.
Okay,
we
Psalm
like
19.
Psalm 19.
The heavens declare the glory of God, and the expanse proclaims the work of his hands. Day after day they pour out speech. Night after night they communicate knowledge. There is no speech, there are no words. Their voice is not heard. We should get back to memorizing this. Their message has gone out to the whole earth, and their words to the ends of the world. In the heavens he has pitched a tent for the sun. It is like a bridegroom coming from his home. It rejoices like an athlete running a course. It rises from one end of the heavens and circles to their other end. Nothing is hidden from its heat. The instruction of the Lord is perfect, renewing one's life. The testimony of the Lord is trustworthy, making the inexperienced wise.
Making wise the simple.
Yes. The precepts of the Lord are right, making the heart glad.
Sure.
The command of the Lord is radiant, making the eyes light up.
Mm-hmm.
The fear of the Lord is pure, enduring forever. The ordinances of the Lord are reliable and altogether righteous. They are more desirable than gold, than an abundance of pure gold, and sweeter than honey dripping from the honeycomb. In addition, your servant is warned by them, and in keeping them there is an abundant reward. Who perceives his unintentional sins? Cleanse me from my hidden faults. Moreover, keep your servant from willful sins. Do not let them rule me. Then I will be blameless and cleansed from blatant rebellion. May the words of my mouth and the meditation of my heart be acceptable to you, Lord, my rock and my redeemer.
Sorry, I jumped translations on you there in the middle of the testimonies of the Lord. I was like, nope, I'm done.
I had to read it very carefully because I was jumping translations. This is why we were struggling to memorize it, is because we've memorized it in, I think I've memorized it in 2 other translations. So anyway. Dear Heavenly Father, thank you for today. Thank you for your word and all that it is to us. Thank you for a truth that we can sing about and learn from. And thank you for the celebration of this season. In your holy name I pray. Amen.
Amen. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Alexa, turn off the ring light.